Hello everyone, welcome to Red9SysTech. I hope you guys are enjoying with Red9SysTech in learning in and out of concepts of Java programming, where we have a lot of videos where we explain about what, how and why for each concepts in Java. So you guys will become a master in Java at the end of this video series. So if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe it. And if you guys like this video, please go ahead and click the thumbs up button and share it to your friends. And if you guys missed to watch any of our previous videos, you are always welcome to please revisit the videos and you will get in and out of the knowledge. And in this video, we are going to refresh our knowledge, whatever we have learned so far in terms of fundamentals of Java programming. And after we go through this video, you will become more confident in appear for any Java interview. And whenever you are trying to attend for any interview, please, I will strongly suggest you guys to come and watch this video, so you will just refresh your knowledge so that you will feel like more comfortable before appear for any Java interview. Okay, without any further delays, let's get into this video. Okay, so I have framed like many like more than 60 plus questions I have for fundamentals of Java programming. Probably this video will be a little bit lengthier or longer, so you guys can watch each and every question and then you will refresh yourself. Okay, so what does a package contains in Java? Classes, interfaces, annotations, all of the above, none of the above. So basically a package contains classes, interface, annotations, right? So it means like all of the above. And why do we need package in Java? To avoid classes and interfaces, to avoid class name conflicts, easily search for a particular class when required, none of the above. So the answer is to avoid the class name conflicts whenever we have in program, and easily you can search a particular class. What are the types of package in Java? Default package, user-defined package, multi-level package, none of the above. That's right. Default package and user-defined package. Default package comes with Java language itself, and user-defined package is something like whatever we are creating for our program, right? And choose the right answers. Package statement can be anywhere in a class. Package statement should be always in the very first line if you use it. Package statement can be after import statement. Package statement should be before the import statement, none of the above. Yeah, package statement should be always in the first line if you use it, and also it should be before the import statement. Choose the right answers. Comments in Java are the helping text to your program. Comments are mandatory for every class in Java. Comments are to add some extra information about your code. Compiler compiles the comments in Java. Compiler ignores the comments in Java. That's right. So comments in Java are the helping text, and also it adds some extra information, and compiler won't compile these comments, right? And what are the different types of comments in Java? Single line comment, multiple comment, multi-line comment, none of the above. Okay, single line comment and multi-line comment. These are the two types of comments in Java. Choose the right answers. Reserved keywords are the keywords that are reserved for some meaning and purpose. Reserved keywords doesn't have any meaning. You are allowed to use the reserved keywords as identifiers in Java. You are not allowed to use reserved keywords as identifiers in Java. Okay, reserved keywords are the keywords which have some meaning and purpose, and also you are not allowed to use reserved keywords as identifiers in Java. Which of the following are the reserved keywords in Java? Red9SysTech, package, import, class, interface, extends, implements. Except Red9SysTech, everything is a reserved keywords, right? Package, import, class, interface, extends, and implements, right? These are all reserved keywords in Java. Choose the correct answer. Byte, int, char, short, float, double, long are reserved keywords in Java. Try, catch, final, finally, throw, throws are the reserved keywords in Java. Do, while, for, if, else, switch, default, break, continue are the reserved keywords in Java. Enum, instance of, native, volatile, new are the reserved keywords in Java, all of the above. As you guys have gone through the videos, all these are all the reserved keywords in Java, so answer is all of the above. And choose the right answer. Statements in Java are to tell the code what it should do. Not every statement should end with semicolon. Different types of statements are expression statement, declaration statement, control flow statement, none of the above. That's right. Statements in Java has to tell what it should do, and also different types of statements are like expression, declaration, and control flow. Choose the right answers. Blocks in Java are anything which we written in curly braces. A block can be defined with static keyword. Static block gets executed after the main block. So blocks are something whatever we write in curly braces. Yeah, blocks can be defined as a static block, right? So we can use static keyword in block. Which are the correct statement related to methods? So methods are set of statements which perform some operation. You can reuse same set of statements for a different scenario. Methods contains, it's a typo here, sorry for that. Methods contains name, return type, arguments and access modifier. None of the above. Methods are the set of statements which do some operation, right? And you can reuse the same set of statements for different scenario. And method contains name, a method name, a return type, and arguments, and also modifier, right? Access modifier, how you can use that methods, right? So these are the answers. Which are correct statement related to main method in Java? You can have more than one main method in a class. Main method is like public static void main string of arguments. String of arguments in the main method is for command line arguments. None of the above. Yeah, main method will be public static void main string of arguments, and this string of arguments is mainly to get the input from the user using command line arguments. Which are the correct statement related to identifiers? Identifiers are the names given to class interface. There is a typo here, sorry for that. And variables and methods in Java. Identifiers are case insensitive. Identifiers can't start with underscore. Identifiers can start with dollar symbol. You can't use Java keyword as an identifier. Okay, it is a name given for class interface and variables and methods. And identifiers can start with dollar symbol. And you can't use Java keyword as an identifier. These are the answers. Choose the right answers. Variables are used in Java to store the values which can't be changed in your program. Constants are used in Java to store the values which can't be changed in your program. Int I, so this statement is called as declaration in Java. Int j equal to 100, so this is not possible in Java. Final keyword is used to create constants in Java. Okay, constants are used to store Java, like which we can't like change the value. And int I, so this is called declaration statement in Java. And also final keyword is used to create constants, right? So these are the answers. What are the different types of variables in Java? Instance variable, static variable, local variable, all of the above. That's right. So choose the right answers. Instance variables are declared inside the class but outside the method. Static variables are defined using the static keyword. Local variables are not declared inside the methods. Static variables are used to access the variables directly as the memory is allocated only once. That's right. So instance variables are declared inside the class but outside the method. And static variables are defined by using static keyword. And if you want to use a static variable, so static variables are used to access the variables directly without having an object for that. What are the valid separators in Java? If you see semicolon, comma, dot, dollar symbol, curly braces, parenthesis, and this brackets, right? So everything is separators except the dollar symbol. These are the valid separators, right? We are using in Java language. Choose the right answers. Primitive data types are to store the simple values. Non-primitive data types are to store the simple values. Numeric and Boolean are the primitive data types. String array are the examples of non-primitive data types. Okay, primitive is to store simple values, and numeric and Booleans are the examples of primitive data types, and the string array are the examples of non-primitive data types. You are right. Implicit and explicit typecasting, right? We have seen in Java. So what is the right flow? So if you guys see here, implicit and explicit, right? So we have to see how this flow is actually happening. So implicit means from byte to short, short to int, to long, and then float, and then double. And the reverse of this one is explicit. If you guys see the other option, this is the last option. This is the right answer for explicit, where we have double and float, long to int, to short, and then byte. These are the implicit and explicit typecasting. What are the applicable basic operators in Java? Arithmetic, relational, bitwise, logical, assignment. In Java, all these are possible. So the answer is all of the above. What are the applicable arithmetic operators in Java? Let's say addition, subtraction, multiplication, modulus, increment, decrement. Yes, you are right. All of the above. We can do everything in Java. What are the applicable relational operators in Java we can use? A equal to B, A not equal to B, greater than B, less than B, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Everything is possible in Java. So all of the above. What are the applicable bitwise operators? So bitwise operators are nothing but we can use compare A and B. So A and B, A or B, A exclusive B, not of A. So all of the above options are possible as bitwise operators in Java. What are the applicable logical operators? A and then B, A or B, not of A and B. So all of the above expressions or operators are available in Java. So the answer is all of the above. And what are the applicable conditional operators, right? So conditional operators are nothing but we are checking the condition. Based on the condition, we are going to return the value. B equal to 1 question mark, then 100 colon 200. So what does it mean is that if A equal to 1, then assign the value of 100 to B, otherwise assign the value of 200 to B. Out of these four options given here, the right syntax is this one, first one, which is having the question mark. Choose the right answers. Instance of is not a keyword in Java. Instance of is used to compare the object type. We can use instance of only for string class. Instance of is used to compare the object type, right? That is answer. Choose the right answers. System.out is to display the results on the screen. Yes, that is right. System.in is to display the results. No. .in is to get the input from the users, right? And system.error is to display errors on the screen. That is correct. Scanner class is used to get the input from the keyboard. That is correct. Buffer reader class is used to get the input from keyboard and also from the input files. That is right. Buffer reader is to get the input. Buffer writer is to write the output. And system.out.println, actually it prints the data and in the next new line, right? Because ln. So that is a new line. So that is correct. System.out.print actually prints the data and it won't be in the next line. That is correct. And system.out.printf, which is like C language, where it actually prints the data, but we have to specify the format. Let's say %s, which means like string, or %f, which means like float, right? So these are the possible options we have in Java. Choose the right answers. So heap, it is to store the objects and instance variable. Stack is to store the methods, local variables and reference variable. Code actually to store the .class file. Static is to store static classes and methods, all of the above. The answer is all of the above, because in Java we have different types of memory, where we have heap memory, stack memory, core and static. So heap is to store all the objects and also the instance variables, whatever we are using in Java in our program. And stack is to store the methods and also the local variables and also the object reference variables. And code is actually to store the compiled file, which is .class file. And static is to store only the static classes and methods. So the answer is all of the above. These are all the correct answers. Choose the right answers related to static keyword in Java. Static keyword can be used only for methods. Static keywords can be used only for variables. Static keyword can be used only for classes. Static keyword can be used only for blocks, all of the above. Actually, you can use static keyword in methods, variables, class and blocks. So the answer is all of the above. Okay. Which of the methods are related to object class in Java? As we guys know that object is a class which is very basic for Java language. From this class only all our classes are derived. So we have to know in and out of the methods what exist in the object class. If you guys see here, toString is a method and clone is a method in object class. Hashcode equals getClass, finalize, wait, notify and notify all. So these are the default methods which was written by Java programmer like developers from Oracle. They have written over in the object class, and that is what the default methods in object class. Choose the right answers. Garbage collector is an automatic process in Java. Yes, that is right. Garbage collector in Java uses live object data object mechanism internally. That is correct. And garbage collector in Java uses live mark, sweep and compacting process internally. That is right. It is using this technology to identify the one which we have to garbage collector has to clean, and this is the technology it is using internally. And young generation in garbage collection consists of hidden space and surveys. That is right. Types of garbage collector in Java is like serial, parallel and concurrent and G1. That is correct. Increase in workload efficiency by garbage collector. That is correct. Because of garbage collector, the workload is getting increased. And tools to analyze the garbage collectors are like we have open source tools like JVisual VM and also Java heaped up analyzer. So these are the answers which are all correct answers. If you guys have to go through in detail about the garbage collector, we have separate video in our playlist. You guys can revisit and you will get in and out of garbage collector in Java. Choose the right answers. Constructor is to initialize the instance variable. There is no default constructor concept in Java. Constructor name need not to be same as class name. Constructor can have return type. Constructor overloading is not possible in Java. Constructor overriding is possible in Java. All of the above. Basically, constructor is to initialize the instance variable. All the other answers are not correct because there is a default constructor we have, and constructor name should be same as class name, right? And constructor cannot have any return type. It should not return anything. And overloading is possible in Java, and overriding is not possible in Java. That is why the correct answer is constructor is to initialize the instance variable. That is the purpose of creating a constructor in Java, right? And what are the types of nested classes in Java? Static, non-static, member inner, local inner, anonymous inner, all of the above. That is correct. All of these are types of nested classes in Java. Choose the right answers. This keyword is used in Java to represent the current class. In case of inheritance, if you want to refer my parent class, we need to use this keyword. This keyword can't be used in static area. This keyword can be used in static area, all of the above. Actually, the answer is, if we want to represent my current class, we have to use this keyword, and also we can't use this keyword in the static area. Choose the right answers. Super keyword in Java is to represent the parent class. In case of inheritance, if I want to refer my parent class reference, I can use super keyword. Super keyword can't be used to refer the parent class instance variable. Super keyword can't be used to refer parent class methods. So basically, we can choose it as all of the above because we can use super keyword to represent all of our actually the answer should be like this. Super keyword in Java is to represent the parent class. In case of inheritance, we can use parent class, and super keyword can be used to refer the parent class, and super keyword can be used to refer the parent class methods. So those two are the right answers. And here we have a question regarding the super of method and this of method. So we have gone through this concepts in detail in one of the video where we have seen about how to use and what to use on what scenario. So super of is to call the parent class constructor. Super of is to call the current class constructor. This of is to call the parent class constructor. This of is to call the current class constructor. Always this of and super of should be the first line inside the constructor if we are using it. It is if we are always this should be inside the constructor but not inside the methods. This of and super of can't be used simultaneously. Basically, the answer is super of is to call the parent class constructor, and this of is to call the current class constructor, and always this one should be the first line if you're using in the constructor, and always this of and super of should be inside the constructor but not inside the methods. We can't use it, and we can't use it simultaneously in our program. What is an interface in Java? It is a service agreement or a contract between parent class and child class. It is a service agreement between child class and parent class. Service agreement between client and the service provider. Actually, there is no service agreement between parent and child. It is actually between the client and the service provider, which we are going to implement it. So this is the right answer. What does an interface contains in Java? Only the specification. Both specification and implementation? No, none of the above, only static methods. So interface contains only the specification, right? Based on that we can implement it. Why do we need to use interface in Java? Multiple inheritance is possible in Java. Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java, but we can implement multiple interfaces, right? Interface is of no use in Java, none of the above. The right answer is multiple inheritance is not possible in Java, but we can implement using multiple interfaces, right? That is how we are achieving multiple inheritance, right? So next question, choose the right answers. Mark interface doesn't contain any methods in it. Functional interfaces contains only one abstract method in it. Interface is better to use than a class based on the use case. @ override tells compiler that the given method is overridden in the implementation class. All of the above, none of the above. Actually, all of the above is the right answer. Okay. And choose the right answers. Method with only declaration but no implementation is called abstract methods. Abstract method has implementation in it. Any class with at least one abstract method is called abstract class. Abstract class can't have concrete methods. When we have a partial requirement is ready, we should go only for abstract class. Actually, all these answers are correct because if you guys see here, method we have only declaration but there is no implementation is called abstract method. So all these answers are correct. What are the different what is the difference between interface and abstract class in Java? I should go for interface if I don't know the requirement at all, whereas go for abstract class when a partial requirement is known. This is correct. Interface can have abstract methods only, whereas abstract class can contain abstract and non methods. This is also correct. Interface, every variable should be public, static and final. Abstract method doesn't have any such requirements. That is also correct. Interface variable can't be protected, transient and volatile. That is correct. Abstract class doesn't have any requirement. That is also correct. Interface, compulsorily we have to initialize the variable, else compiler error will come. Abstract class doesn't have any such requirement. That is also correct. Can't declare the constructors inside the interface, but abstract class is not like that. That is also correct. So the right answer is all of the above, right? So this is the right answer. Choose the right answers. String is a data type in Java. String is a class in Java. String doesn't contain any methods in Java. All of the above. So basically string is a class. It is not a data type in Java. So next one is string s1 is equal to new string of red9SysTech. So here actually we have to identify where this object is getting created. It is getting created in the heap memory. That is correct, because objects are always getting created in heap memory. Only the reference is stored in the stack. Choose the right methods which exist in string class. If you guys see here, I have given a list of methods which are there in the string class. Length of, index of, caret of, replace of, to lowercase of, to uppercase of, concat of, compare to of, contains of, starts with of, ends with of, format of, is empty of, matches of, split of, substring of, trim of. Actually the answer is all of the above, because we have a separate video where we explain in and out of all these methods, how to use it in string class. You guys can revisit and you will be in and out of getting those knowledge on that. Choose the right methods exist in string class. Basically we have to identify the right answer here. It's not like a right methods, it's a right answer. So immutable means the value can be changed. Immutable means the value can't be changed. String is immutable in Java. String is mutable in Java. All of the above. The answer is immutable means the value can't be changed, and string is immutable in Java. These are the right answers. The next question is string s1 is equal to new string of red9SysTech and then s1.concat of channel. So what has actually happens is s1 refers to the same object containing red9SysTech. S1 refers to the different object containing red9SysTech channel. Above code is not valid. Basically when you use concatenation of, then what will happen is it is not going to create a new object because string is immutable. So it is going to append the same value to the other. So it is going to have a red9SysTech channel. Choose the right answers. Dot equals of method in string class is to compare the object. Dot equals method in class to compare the values. Equal to operators to compare the objects. Equal to operators to compare the values and content. So the answer is we should understand clearly that the difference between dot equals method and equal to operator. Equal to operator is to compare the object. Dot equals to is to method is to compare the value which is present inside that object. String s1 equal to new string of red9SysTech. String s2 is equal to new string of red9SysTech. So if you guys see here, if I say compare s1 equal to s2, whether it is true or false. So based on this one, s1 and s2, so basically it creates new object. So s1 and s2 are separately, definitely a separate object. So this object reference address won't be same. So s1 equal to s2 will be false. And also if you guys see here, s1 dot equals of s2 is true because equals of will compare the value. So if you guys see here, this is also red9SysTech and this is also red9SysTech. So both object contains same value in it. That is why equals will return true and equal to will return false. String s1 equal to new string of Java. String s2 is equal to s1 dot intern of. Basically this question is actually for understanding the string pool concept. If you guys haven't understand how the string pool works in Java, we have a separate video. Please go ahead and watch it. So you will understand how the string pool works and what is the purpose of it. So if you guys see here, s1 refers to the object in heap memory. That is correct, because when you say string s1 equal to new string of Java, it actually creates an object in the heap memory. But s2 refers to object in heap memory. No, because it won't create a object in the heap, because when you use s1 dot intern of, actually it is going to check whether it is exist in string pool or not. If it exists, then it is going to return the same thing, right? So for every object you create in heap, there will be a another object which will be created in string pool for string object. So that is why s1 refers to the object in heap memory and s2 refers to the object in the string pool. choose the right answers. String buffer is a thread safe. String buffer is not a thread safe. In string buffer, the content of the string can be changed for the same reference location. In string buffer, the content of the string can't be changed in the same reference. So actually string buffer is a thread safe and the value can be changed in string buffer. The next question is for string builder. String builder is a thread safe. String builder is not a thread safe. In string builder, the content can be changed. In string builder, content can't be changed. So the answer is string builder is not thread safe, and in string builder the value can't be changed. Sorry, the value can be changed. String buffer sp1 equal to new string buffer of RedSysTech, and when you're appending with channel, what will happen, right? This code is invalid. No, this code is valid, and what will happen is sb1 can't append the new values to the existing value. No, sb1 actually appends the new value channel to the existing object. When you print like sb1, actually you will be getting like RedSysTech channel. That is the beauty of string buffer. And this one, right, choose the right answer. String buffer is synchronized. String buffer is not synchronized. String builder is synchronized. String builder is not synchronized. String buffer gives low performance. String buffer gives high performance. So the answer is string buffer is synchronized. That is correct. And string builder is not synchronized. That is correct. And string buffer is for low performance, and string builder is giving high performance because of thread safe scenarios. And choose the right answer. Exception is not possible in Java. Exception is the abnormal condition that disturbs the normal flow of a program. That is correct. And exception is to avoid the abnormal termination of a program. That is correct. We have to use exception for that. And if exception is not handled properly, then the rest of the code won't get executed. That is true, right? If you guys haven't handled the exception properly, then the rest of the code won't get executed. The last option is try, catch, finally, throw, and throws are the result keywords in Java. That is correct. Next question, try statement can't be alone. That is correct, right? Catch block can't be alone. That is also correct. Try can have either catch or finally. Yeah, it can have either of this. And finally block should be always be the last. That is also correct. Multi-level catch blocks are possible, but the order should be from specific exception to a general exception. That is also correct. We can define n number of catch blocks, right? And at a time only one exception can be occurred. That is true. At a time only one catch block can be executed. Yeah, even though multiple catches are exceptions happen, but only one catch can be executed. And nested try block is plausible in Java. That is also true. So the answer is all of the above. So basically these are the thumb rules of understanding the exceptions, how it actually works in Java. So based on that, this question has been framed. What are the valid exceptions in Java? IO exception, SQL exception, class not found exception, runtime exception, arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, number format exception, index out of bounds exception, array index out of bounds exception, string index out of bounds exception, all of the above. So basically these are all the valid exceptions we have. In our video we have explained about in and out of with a sample scenario in our real-time program. You guys can revisit to understand how it actually works. What are the valid errors in Java? Basically stack overflow error, virtual machine error, out of memory error, all of the above. Basically these are all the errors which can occur in our program. We have explained about how it actually happens in our program in our sample video. You guys can please revisit and you can understand how it actually works. So there is a most common entry question where they will be asking about what is the difference between exception and errors in Java. So exceptions can be caused by our Java program. That is true. Errors are caused because of lack of any resources, and exceptions can be handled in Java. Errors can't be handled in Java, all of the above. So if anyone asks you about the differences, you can explain in this way. So what is the difference between exception and errors? So this will be more than sufficient. And what are the difference between compile time error and runtime exceptions in Java? So it is mandated to provide try catch or try finally block in order to handle the checked exception. So checked exceptions are nothing but the compile time exceptions, and if you fail to do so, what will result is like you will see the compile time error before you run the code, right? So but in case of checked exception, it also enforces like you are handling the proper error condition or not, right? So basically these are both are the difference between like checked exception and unchecked exception. Basically they call it as compile time exception and runtime exception. And next question is, what are the difference between final, finally, and finalize in Java? So finally is a modifier in Java, that is right, and finally is a block related to exception handling, that is right. Finalize is a method which is invoked by GC in Java, that is also correct. errors can't be handled in Java. So basically all the answers are correct. And what are the difference between system.exit of 0 versus system.exit of 1 versus system.exit of -1 in Java? Basically, when you want to exit from your current program, you can use this method exit of, which is present in the system class. What is the difference between these three, right? So if you use system of exit of 0, it means like it is any non-zero status code represents the abnormal termination. If you use anything other than 0, it means abnormal termination, but if you use 0, it means like a proper termination. So basically the answers are any non-zero status code represents abnormal termination, which means anything other than 0 means abnormal termination, right? And if you use this this statement inside a try block, and we want to know whether the finally block will get executed or not. So in this case, you guys can see this system.exit of 0 inside try block won't execute the finally block, and also system.exit of 1 inside a try block won't execute the finally block. Even if you give system.exit of -1 also inside a try block won't execute the finally block. So these are the right answers. So I hope you guys can understand and refresh your knowledge whatever we have learned so far in terms of fundamentals of Java programming. And if you guys want to revisit this video, please watch it again and pause this video, and you can go through that concept in detail, and you will be more than getting your knowledge in that. And if you guys have any question regarding any of this question, please post your comments in the comment section. I will happy to respond back in a timely manner. And also if you guys have want to enrich your knowledge on each concept, definitely in our playlist you guys can search it for our particular video for a particular topic. You guys will definitely find the in detail concept where we will be explaining about what, how and why it actually works. So I hope you guys like this video. If you guys haven't subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe it. And if you guys like this video, please hit the thumbs up button and please hit the notification button so you guys will get notified. And also please share it to the friends, and I will see you in the next interesting video, guys.